Hello and welcome to Sunbury-upon-Thames. We are staying in a travel lodge ahead of my first trip of the season to the Thorpe Park Resort. Except it's not a resort anymore, is it? Anyway, tomorrow night we're going to be staying in the Thorpe Park Shark Cabins. But tonight I thought I would start off the first part from this travel lodge to introduce you to the vlog mostly. So I'm excited to get back to Thorpe Park. I haven't been since last September. I still haven't ridden Hyperia either, so that's on my to-do list for tomorrow. Let's get back on my favourites like Nemesis, Inferno, and Stealth, and the Swarm. Love the Swarm. And Colossus, and maybe Saw the Ride if there's time. Anyway, I'm editing a Tiger Rock review video at the moment, so we're going to get on with that while I stay in this budget hotel. And I will catch up with you guys in a bit. I've been awake since 5 AM this morning, so I'm going to go to bed, and I will catch up with you guys in the morning when I check out this hotel and make my way to Thorpe Park. Right, so we're on our way to Thorpe Park now. I'm excited. It's been a while since I've been there. Like I said, September. We are hopefully going to go on Hyperia today for the first time, and I'm going to do that a bit later on though, rather than doing that straight away. Vlogging in public's weird for me as well, because I don't often do it. Thank you. Okay, it is very sunny here in Surrey. I'm checked out. We are now going to drive down to Thorpe Park. I should get there right before opening. I'm hoping it's not too busy because it's literally a Tuesday on opening week. Well, opening week was technically last week, but yeah, we'll see. Let's get down there. Okay, we're in Thorpe Park. I was going to go on the Swarm, but that's got a 20-minute queue, and the park's been open 10 minutes. So I'm walking towards the back of the park to try and get on Nemesis Inferno, or Colossus. I'm going to do Hyperia a bit later on in the day because I'm scared. Right, so I just done my first ride of the season at Thorpe Park. It was Nemesis Inferno, and over the last 2 seasons I've grown a sort of hate relationship towards it because it had just been so fucking rough. It was smooth. I love it now. It was smooth. I don't know what they did, but it was incredible. Anyway, our next ride is Colossus. I'm going to do Hyperia a bit later on.
Please keep your arms inside the train, your feet on the floor, and brace yourselves at all times. Once again, your ride process is about to begin. Please keep your arms inside the train, your feet on the floor, and brace yourselves at all times.
Right, unfortunately Colossus is still incredibly rough. I hurt my back. It was advertised as a 15-minute wait, but for some reason they were using the overflow queue, so I took like 5 minutes to walk through the actual ride. Anyway, it wasn't too bad. It was just a bit, well, you know how Colossus is, rough. Park's starting to fill up a bit now. Hyperia is on a 50-minute wait. I'm going to head over to the Swarm Island to go ride the Swarm. Stealth is also yet to open today, and so is Vortex, weirdly. Change of plan, we're doing back row flying fish because it was on a 5-minute walk on wait. The audio on this has really been built up this season. It is mental. See you when I get off it. Have just flown the fish. I walked past Depth Charge and it was playing the Flume music, and that really threw me off because I forgot it did that. Anyway, now we're going to Swarm Island to go do the Swarm. Okay, waited about half an hour for the Swarm, on an advertised 20-minute queue. It wasn't too bad. Operations were a bit weird and nobody was filling up the second row. Everyone was queuing for front row. So I went in the second row, and then when I got off the second row, there was nobody else waiting. Anyway, App said that Stealth has just opened. So I'm going to go ride Stealth, then I'm going to grab food because I'm actually starving. I've just come off of Stealth. I fucking love Stealth. I forgot how much I love Stealth until I was on it. Weirdly, tidal wave is leaking onto Stealth Plaza. I'll show you sort of lightly there where the ground's wet by the Ben & Jerry's ice cream place. Yeah, not sure what I'm going to do next though. Okay, so I was hoping to get on Hyperia at some point today. I still haven't been on it at all since it opened. Might be a bit difficult considering it's valid again. Yeah. It's about coasters, man, I swear. Right, so I'm about 2.5 hours into my first day here at Thorpe Park. You can see the lovely Hyperia behind me. I thought I'd collect my thoughts. So first of all, operationally the park's running really smooth. They're very efficient at dispatching the rides and getting people onto the rides, which is quite nice to see. On a rather disappointing note, however, Colossus, Vortex, Hyperia and Samurai are all down. Now Samurai and Colossus are testing empty. Vortex I haven't actually been over to Lost City properly to see it. And Hyperia valid, so that's probably not going to reopen again today. But I can see that they're doing things to get these rides open, and again, like I said, Colossus and Samurai are both testing empty. There are still people in the queue line for Colossus, so I'm assuming that because it hasn't been evacuated, they have hope it's going to open. So yeah, I've so far, like I said, I'm about 2.5 hours in. I've done Swarm, Stealth, Colossus, Inferno and Flying Fish. I was hoping to get Hyperia done, that's now not going to happen today. So yeah, I'm probably going to go do some flat rides or some water rides. Obviously Rumble Rapids also isn't open, but that's not opening till May. I might do if I can do single rider on Storm Surge. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the vlog so far. I'm not used to vlogging. Where Slammer was to say that I have done Saw the Ride and Walking Dead the Ride and Zodiac twice. I did single rider on Saw the Ride, and to be honest I got on it about the same time as if I just queued up for the main queue. So it wasn't too bad. I forgot how much I hate Saw the Ride though, so my head's kind of throbbing after that. I'm disappointed that Hyperia valid, but I'm not going to let it spoil my day. Okay, now checked into the Thorpe Shark Hotel. So I'm in room 277, which is Inferior Nemesis Inferno themed room. When I came to the hotel before, they had wristbands that you would wear. Instead of the wristbands, I've just been given a car park ticket, but I have a Merlin pass anyway. And then, so I'm just trying to get my bearings. And then I've also been given a fast track voucher for 10 to 11 a.m. tomorrow, and another fast track voucher for the Coasters fast track, which I got as part of my Nemesis Inferno room. I'm very excited to see what the room looks like. Then I'm going to get back into the park and enjoy the last couple hours. Okay, so it's 5:05. I've been in the Colossus queue for about 25 minutes. It has ceased operation due to the weather, but they're letting us hold on, so I'm just waiting. There's just 2 empty trains sat here.
Your feet on the floor and brace yourselves at your times. Once again, the riding process is about to begin. Please keep your arms inside the train and your feet on the
Okay, so 5:25. I've had my last ride of the day on Colossus. To give the team credit, it shut at about 20 to 5 for wind operations, and then it got to about 5 o'clock and they were like, if you want, all the other queue rides are staying open until 5:05. So they said if you want, go leave, because I don't know how long Colossus was going to be, but I held on for a bit because I queued for the front. About 20 minutes later we finally got on Colossus, which is a great sign. I've never actually done Colossus front row before, so doing front row was weird, but I kind of liked it. Anyway, the rest of the park's now closed, so I'm going to head back to the shark cabins and I will summarise my day. Hello, you join me from the Nemesis Inferno room at the Thorpe Shark Cabins, where I end off the first part of my Thorpe Park vlog. So overall, operationally, the day was a bit confusing. So it started off really strong, really promising. At the start of the day, all the rides were operating except Stealth and Vortex. Unfortunately, this did not keep up during the day, with Hyperia obviously closing because it valleyed. Colossus being down for wind warnings several times, among other rides. Ironically, however, Stealth was the one ride that stayed open after the initial downtime of an hour. It then stayed open consistently for the rest of the day. As you would have seen in the last clip I filmed on Park, Colossus obviously was down right at the end of the day for a weather warning. This was rectified by the team in quite good time, actually, which meant that I did get my final ride of the day on Colossus, and it meant I didn't have a disappointing end to the day. Now, the funny part there, as I mentioned in the last clip, if it made it into the video, was that Colossus obviously had an announcement made that other queue line rides were going to be left open until 5 minutes past 5 so that people could get a final ride, because they couldn't guarantee that Colossus was gonna reopen. Obviously, Colossus did reopen, and I got my final ride on Colossus at 25 past 5. So only 25 minutes after the advertised park time, which wasn't too bad. I was either going to get evacuated from the queue line or do it, but I was on the front row queue and there was like one person in front of me, so I thought might as well make the most of it. So yeah, a lot of people have been saying that the operations at both Thorpe Park and Alton Towers have been relatively bad. Obviously, I haven't been to Towers this season. I know that they've obviously had Toxicator open. Whether or not that's been successful, I'm assuming it has. I haven't seen anything negative, but I've just seen people complaining about the operations there. But from my perspective at Thorpe Park, the operations aren't too bad. To give the team credit, every ride that I did get on, operations were efficient. They got riders through as fast as possible. The staff took care of the guests. Massive shout out to the 2 members of staff that were operating Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride, of all things, because they let me go around. I think I did twice Oh no, I did 3 times on Banana Ride. I did Banana Ride 3 times in a row. So that was like highlight of my day. But yeah, I say I had actually quite a good trip. I got Nemesis Inferno twice, Colossus twice, Stealth once, Swarm once. Then I did a bunch of flat rides. So I did Flying Fish, I did Walking Dead as a single rider, which was an experience. I did Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride, obviously 3 times. I also did Zodiac twice in a row. The only ride I didn't, well, there were 2 rides I wanted to get on that I didn't get on, and that was obviously Hyperia and weirdly Vortex. I quite like Vortex. I'm not at park. I'm not on park for as long tomorrow because of work commitments. But however, I'm gonna still. I'll do part 2 of the vlog. It won't be as long as this one. I have no idea how long this one's going to be. It depends how much usable footage I have. We will absolutely see. So, with that, I'm going to enjoy the Nemesis Inferno themed room with my wonderful Nemesis Inferno ride poster looking at me as I sleep on this actually pretty decently sized bed. Yeah, thank you very much for watching the vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be the part 2 of this vlog of my second day on park, or the Nemesis Inferno room review. Thanks for watching.